Hi guys, welcome to my channel once again. It's a pleasure having you all. If you're new to the platform and you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to do so, and definitely click the bell so that you stay notified once new videos are up. It's a pleasure having you all. Truly appreciate your continuous support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Couldn't be more grateful. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoyed your loved ones. And if you just spent it alone, just for your own peace of mind, absolutely okay as well. I just hope that everyone had a lovely Thanksgiving. But without further ado, so today we are talking about the holidays. Um, we are definitely in the last month of the year, clearly. 2020 alone has been one heck of a year. Let's not even get into how crazy 2020 has been. But with everything else that has been going on, I will definitely say still stay grateful that you are alive, well, and can still continue on with life, because a lot of people have lost a lot. Some didn't make it towards this point, so I I remain grateful through it all, and I hope you are as well. So, in terms of today's topic, I decided I wanted to share some tips with you guys on how to deal with stress and depression during the holiday. It's one of those things that unknowingly happens, not because you're wanting or seeking for it to happen. Of course, not everything in life that we deal with we desire for it to happen, but it's just the chaotic aspect of life that we deal with each and every day kind of just causes these things to flare up. So I'm a big advocate on just really remaining calm, maintaining a great peace of mind, um, avoiding stress as much as you can, because honestly, there's nothing worth stressing over at all. Nothing. And you can only control but so much. For those that you can control, you definitely want to. So I'll be sharing some tips with you, 10 tips on how you can remain less stressed, avoid depression during the holidays. So the first thing you definitely want to do is acknowledge your feelings. Um, I say this to those of you who might have lost loved ones during COVID 19, or those of you who just might have lost loved ones for any other reason, those of you who are just in a space of being alone by yourself. It is okay to not be happy during the holidays. It is okay to acknowledge your feelings. It is okay to grieve, and express your feeling of, grievance that you're dealing with. The holidays doesn't mean, just because it's the holiday doesn't mean that you have to be happy. Acknowledge your feelings, that it's okay to not be happy during the holidays, and people will respect that. And as long as that's communicated and that's the space you want to be in, that is absolutely okay, because that healing process is needed for whatever it is that you might be dealing with. And to anyone who lost loved ones during COVID 19 or have lost a loved one, as we approach this holidays and celebrate, you know, the end of the year, which is going to be coming up soon, I hope that you find strength to remain strong and push through whatever life is presenting you. And my sympathy to you and your family in whatever grievance that you're dealing with. Second thing you definitely want to do is reach out. So, what do I mean by that? So, for those of us who might just be by ourselves, might not have family members or loved ones that we truly associate with or deal with on a regular basis, you might just be that individual who has kind of been in your own world of uh, by yourself, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I do recommend is, if you feel lonely or isolated, I definitely recommend you can reach out to communities, social clubs, religious groups. Despite the fact that COVID is still going on, these organizations are still trying to create that atmosphere of, celebration for those of you who find yourself in that lonely or isolation world. That way, you're not feeling that moment of stress and depression. You definitely don't want to get into that stage of depression, because then that's going to trigger more unhealthy things that you don't want to deal with. So I highly recommend reaching out to those communities around you, those social clubs, religious group, activities that you like to do. They have those clubs. Despite the fact COVID is still going on, some of these organizations are still taking precautions to be able to, create a safe environment for people to be able to have those interactions. It's better to be around, you know, people in happy moments than to be in isolated space by yourself. If you kind of get what I'm saying. So volunteering is another thing you could do in terms of reaching out. Um, volunteering to feed the homeless, volunteering at a shelter, volunteering to do a toy drive to give kids, volunteering your energy in however way that you feel will be positive and uplift your soul. It's something else you could do. um, you can definitely reach out to a friend or a family member. Be careful with that. I always say that. But if you have that one friend, that one family member that you are still close with, in good terms with, that's someone you could reach out, a neighbor that you're friendly with, or you guys have a good rapport together, you could cook a great meal and just drop it off. Those little things kind of create a feeling of, happiness in your own world. If you still feel like you don't want to be bothered by a group of people as we go through this holiday celebrations. So, reaching out is a second key thing you could practice in kind of eliminating your stress and depression. Thirdly, be realistic. I say this because sometimes we get so overwhelmed and get caught up in the holiday celebrations. And pressure is being presented in so many angles. Pressure is being presented from the commercials that you're seeing. Pressure is being presented in environments that you're going, shopping centers, everywhere you go. It's like the holiday is being made known, whether you celebrate it or not, whatever the case might be. Just that the environment changes throughout this month. Everything you're going to be seeing is about the holidays. So be realistic. Be realistic in realizing that the holiday is not always going to be perfect. Life is not perfect at all, so we cannot expect perfection in every aspect of things that we do in this life. Some imperfections are going to occur, and it's okay. As people grow, as life is changing within your family household, things, of course, are going to change. So, for example, if you're an individual who's used to celebrating the holiday with your family, and you're not able to do so in this moment, or a parent whose adult children are now out of the house and they're not able to come and celebrate the holidays with you, you sort of have to adjust to what traditions and rituals you want to hold on to. Some you might have to let go of because things have changed. Life is changing. Your kids, of course, are now grown. Especially now that we're dealing with COVID, this holiday gathering is definitely going to be one that is going to be extremely interesting. We might not see all of our family members, not because we choose to, but because, of how the situation is at the moment. And that is okay. There's still ways you can just try to celebrate the holiday. You can do virtual interactions. You can send emails, share pictures. So those are some things you can do in terms of being realistic of the expectations that you have for the holiday or having for the holiday. I kid you not. I will give you guys an example. So last year I was so excited. I was able to put up my Christmas tree, decorate it. I had just had the little one, so he was still just a few months. So it didn't dawn on me that this year I won't be able to put up my Christmas tree, and not because I don't want to, but because I have a 1 year old who is literally all around and everywhere, and I know that for sure. With that tree being up, everything, every ornament on it will be on the floor. The whole tree itself will be falling down. So I have to sit in my truth and accept the fact that there won't be no Christmas tree in my house this year. And that is okay. It's been a little bit hard for me to accept it, but such is life. So little things like those, that might not be a big deal to some of you, but to me it is, because I love the idea of putting up my Christmas tree, decorating it, and putting my gift box underneath of it. But this year, No Christmas tree, but I'll still find some ways to make the home feel very holiday. But be realistic, okay? Because things might not go as planned or as you desire for them to, and that is okay. All right, so the fourth thing I definitely encourage you guys to do is setting aside differences. Learn to accept family members and friends as we celebrate this last, you know, month and approach 2021 as your friends and family members are, um, even though they might not live to the expectations that you might have for them, set aside grievances and discussions for a much appropriate time. So, what do I mean by that? For example, you know, let's say you're having a family dinner during the holiday. That might not be the best time to start having discussions of issues you might have with those family members. I usually recommend having those discussions after such celebration. You don't want to spoil the moment of the joy and happiness that's going around the table. Just learn to accept those individuals, whether it's friends, family members, as they are, um, and have the discussions or whatever differences you might have with them later on. But don't try to do it at the dinner table. Um, whether you're trying to make a point or prove a point or make the issue known to all the other family members, just learn to accept that as they are in that moment and enjoy the holiday and save that discussion for later. It creates less chaotic stress at the table, and a and a less dramatic meal, to say the least. But it's not easy. But try your very best to just set aside differences with any friends and family members you might be having those issues with. Fifth point that I definitely want to emphasize on is budget. What do I mean by this? Stick to a budget. It's the holiday time. A lot of us get so excited. A lot of us are so overwhelmed. Everywhere you go, it's like all the shiny, glittery stuff that's been shown, advertisement that's been shown, all the sales and discounts. Don't find yourself being so overwhelmed and overextending yourself. So create a budget and stick to a budget. Create a budget and stick to it in terms of, for example, you know, the shopping list that you're going to do, whether you're the one who's going to be making meals or whether you're going to prepare meals. Create a list of items that you want to buy, the list of gifts that you want to buy, who you want to buy gifts for. And please, as you are creating this budget and sticking to this budget, be very careful in terms of trying to buy happiness. Sounds a bit harsh, but a lot of people during this time tend to feel like they have to buy gifts for everyone. No, you don't have to buy gifts for everyone. You can if you're able to do so, but if you're not able to do so, it is absolutely okay for you not to. Trying to buy happiness, it's definitely not going to bring uh, joy to you in terms of the relationship you might have with that individual. So decide on the amount of money you want to spend and truly stick to it. It's really critical that you don't try to buy happiness with an avalanche of gift. Trust and believe that the individual you're giving that gift to, if you guys have not been on a good terms, giving a gift doesn't resolve the issues. If they don't care about you, giving them a gift is not going to make them care about you now. If they never liked you, they're still not going to like you. So focus on those that you have the great and positive relationship with. It is okay to be the bigger person and try and mending relationship, but try not to do so during the holidays by overextending yourself. A lot of people sometimes try to do that. For example, say, "Oh, maybe I should just buy them a gift. Maybe that will start us on a positive note." No, not at all. Especially when you're not able to do so. Now, if you're able to do so and that's something you absolutely feel you want to do, please be my guest. It's absolutely okay. But I am a big advocate of not overextending yourself in trying to buy happiness. Give gifts to those you are able to give gifts to those who are truly going to appreciate it, to those that you are in a great space with. have a great relationship with, care about you, matter to you. But be very careful as you're doing your whole gift shopping thing. It is really critical. I emphasize really and truly sticking to a budget. Um, it's not everybody that you have to give a gift to. Me personally, I really never give gifts to everyone. I find creative ways to be able to just, for example, in my family, I tend to just focus on my nieces and nephews. I tell my sisters they're much older now, so if you have a child, your child is getting a gift, not you. So little things like that, you can try those, and your family members who truly love you and care for you, honestly, will understand, and they're not even having any expectations of such, because that's not what defines your love and and care for them. So on a much deeper level, whether you give a gift to them or not, it doesn't change anything, because the love and connection and bond and care that you both have for each other means way much more beyond a gift. All right, please. And for those of you that just want to feel like you have given through this holiday, you can always donate to charities. If there's absolutely no one in your life that you care to give a gift to for whatever the reason might be, and but have that feeling of giving, you can always donate to a charity. Those are definitely great ways of giving your blessing to others during the holidays. Other creative things some of you could do is creating homemade gifts. Some DIY gifts, always go a long way. The thought of it, that goes into it. For those of you who truly feel like you still want to do something, but you're a bit restricted when it comes to a budget, you could do some homemade gifts. Goes a long way. So those are some few things you guys could try. So number 6 that you want to do. The sixth thing that I definitely recommend you guys doing is planning ahead. Sounds simple, sounds like, oh, I do that every day, but no, as the holidays approach, life gets chaotic, life gets hectic for some of us. But I highly recommend planning ahead, setting a schedule. Set a schedule on days that you're going to do your gift shopping, on days that you're going to buy any food products that you need, ingredients that you're going to need to prepare any meals, any things that you're going to mail out. Trust and believe as the day gets closer to the holidays time, as we're approaching, of course, the Christmas and all the other holidays, everywhere becomes crazy. And so picture it. Before COVID, it gets crazy. Now with COVID, you're definitely going to have to stand in line even longer. So I highly recommend, if you're not an individual like me who likes to stand in line for long hours of time, I highly recommend planning ahead of time. It truly, truly would it will help you utilize your time effectively and not be so overwhelmed and stressed out, because standing in line for a long period of time already is going to irritate you, and by the time you get into the store, whatever you were planning on doing, you might not even end up getting it, you might end up forgetting. So plan ahead, that way your schedule isn't so overwhelmed and you are not overwhelmed. My favorite, number 7. You guys have heard me talked about this in my previous videos. And if you're new to this platform, you haven't seen my other videos, definitely check them out. Great details have been shared there. So another thing I recommend is one of my favorites. I always say this: learn to say no. It's hard. It's one of those things that's so hard to do, especially when you care for people, when you love them, but you have to learn to say no. So saying yes when you are not able to do what is being requested of you is just going to create a stressful atmosphere for you, and it's going to overwhelm you, not in the best way, of course. So you definitely want to ensure that you practice and learn to say no throughout this remaining days of the year, because some people are going to request a lot of you. It's okay if you can make someone's event. Don't feel bad. If you can't make the invitation, it's absolutely okay. Just let them know ahead of time that you're not able to do so. If your boss is asking you to work overtime and you're not able to do so, or if you want to do so, then you can adjust your schedule whereby that gives you time to be able to do that overtime if you choose to do that. But it's also okay to say no. Uh, the key is not overwhelming yourself. You don't want to overextend yourself, and the next thing you know, you're burnt out. And the next thing you know, you're stressed. And the next thing you know, stress It leads to other aspects such as depression. We don't want you to be depressed during the holiday. The holiday is a time of happiness and joy. And the most important thing is trying to avoid stress in however way possible you can. Okay, so number 8, don't abandon your healthy habits. Okay, so we just dealt with Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of us definitely did a lot of gobble gobble, which is okay. One day is not going to kill. But it's a time of celebration. People are going to be inviting you to holiday parties. People are going to be inviting you to holiday dinners, outings. It's going to be a lot of food and alcohol flowing. Don't abandon your healthy habits. It's okay to enjoy the holiday, but I recommend not abandoning your healthy habits. If you have been that individual who's been very strict about your healthy habits, I highly recommend trying to maintain it as celebrate the remaining days of the year. Try having a healthy snack before you have your dinner or go to the event that you've been invited to. Of course, try to eat healthy meals. Even if you go to the holiday dinners, there's still dishes there that will definitely be healthy. You can pick and choose what you want to have. Get a lot of sleep. It's so necessary for the body to have its rest because you'll be able to function better the next day. So try to get a lot of sleep, drink a lot of water, just practice the healthy habits you have been doing. That way, as you are, adding all the other yumminess and sweets to the celebrations, you don't find yourself being overwhelmed and realizing and beating yourself up, feeling like you're not eating right or you're not doing what you've been doing. Don't be so hard on yourself. But what you can do is just try to have healthy meals as you celebrate your healthy snacks, have a lot of rest, and drink a lot of water. That always helps. Number 9, take a breather. Please never feel like it is like wrong to take a breather. Take a breather if needed. It is absolutely okay to take a breather. Spending time by yourself is absolutely okay. Taking a breather and just spending 15 minutes by yourself to just zen out, listening to some soothing music, as I always recommend, reading a book, just having a moment of relaxation. It just helps create that calmness. It gives you a boost of energy, puts you in a vibrant space because you're going to need that. You're going to need that to be able to continue whatever activities that you need to do throughout the next few days as we approach Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. So take a breather. I don't feel bad for taking a breather. It is okay if you want to zen out for an hour or two or a day and don't want to be bothered by anyone. It is absolutely okay. So never feel guilty for giving yourself the time that you need for your body to just relax. I am a big advocate of that. Please, if that is needed, do so and don't feel guilty about doing it. Last but not least, if you've practiced all those tips and tried all those little tips and done all you can do in terms of managing your stress and controlling depression, and you still find yourself battling and feeling anxious and still feeling overwhelmed and still in a bad space mentally, please never hesitate to seek professional help. I highly recommend that. They are professionals for a reason. It is okay to seek mental health professionals. Doesn't mean you're crazy, doesn't mean your brain is not functioning, doesn't mean you're a lunatic, none of that. It just means that you care about your mental well-being and you just need to zen out and seek professional help, and that is absolutely okay. I truly, truly hope that these tips help you guys as we celebrate the next few days as we approach 2021. I hope that the holidays will be joyful for all of you. I hope that it will be moments of happiness for those of you that are in a space not feeling the holidays. Please, it is absolutely okay to be in that mode. If you're grieving, feel the need to grieve. It is okay. Just because it's the holiday, once again, like I mentioned earlier, doesn't mean you have to be happy. It's okay to not be happy. And if you're needing that moment of just grieving, whatever loss you might have faced, whatever situation it might be for you, it is okay. I hope that the holiday will definitely be lovely for all of you guys. I hope that whatever you're battling, whatever the situation might be, around your family, loved ones, friends. I hope that, you find the strength to push through it all. I hope that God gives you the courage to do whatever it is that you're wanting to do this holiday, whatever celebrations you're wanting to have, whether you're the one wanting to host the friends or family members. May it all fall in place for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Pleasure having you all. Definitely look forward to sharing a lot more with you guys. Don't forget to let your friends know about the channel. The key is definitely trying to grow. I couldn't be more grateful for the little milestones that I'm achieving, But thank you guys. Enough of the rambling. It was a pleasure having you. Please, once again, if you guys have any topic ideas, I am definitely open to them. Please comment below what you thought about these tips. I'm looking for your guys' engagement, any recommendations you might have. I am definitely receptive to all of it. Thank you for your time and make it a great day.
You're